this price of $352, it is not yet confirmed, but if this whole thing, including that massive bike, is only $352, I would be pre-ordering this one. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. For today, a Sunday, it is Figure News Fix Day. We will be taking a look at figures on pre-order between 4th to 9th of December 2023. Okay, so this is kind of the first week of December, and for this week, there are a lot of genuine figures, and I think we have only half a dozen resin figures on pre-order. Yeah, very few. I have no idea if this is related to the incident that is going on in China where the authorities are checking on figures like they want to ban lewd stuff. I don't know whether it's related or not. But anyways, we'll go through the figures one by one as usual. And for this week as well, the genuine figures are all over the place. There are some that are already on pre-order in HLJ. Some we have to take a look at Ami because HLJ hasn't listed it yet. And there are even genuine figures on third-party resin figure websites like OzGK because the Japanese sites have not even put it on pre-order yet. They're all over the place. So let's get started with our affiliate partner, HobbyLink Japan or HLJ. Okay, so for figures on pre-order this week, as usual, we'll go through the female characters. Now we'll start off with scale figures 1/8, 1/7 or 1/6. This is a 1/7 scale Kyoka Shimizu illustration by Akina for 24,000 yen by Shomon, which sounds like Digimon to me. Okay, this one is coming out in August next year. And what do I think of this? Yeah, I love that what they call it, that partition behind her. But when you look beyond that, right, this is just a generic Chinese dress figure. There has been way too many of them lately, just like bunny girl figures. Like, they are quite a trend this year especially. And needless to say, they are really beautiful. Like, if you were to have a collection, a shelf full of traditional dress figures, yeah, she would fit in very nicely over here. 24,000 yen, I think it is fine. I don't know anything about this brand yet. Yeah, I know nothing. This is a very new brand. We will take a look next year when she comes out, what their figures are like. As for this particular figure itself, right, I don't know why, but every single product picture this company provided us, yeah, we only get to see her face from her left side. Yeah, her left side. We can't even see the face from the other side, from the other angle. I don't know why. You see, every picture is from this angle. Is her face less flattering from the wrong angle? That is what I'm wondering over here. Because with some figures, how do I put it? Because we are converting 2D art into a 3D object, not every figure will turn out very well. Like, they are intended to look just like the original art in the specific angle, like this viewing angle over here. But when you turn around and look at the figure from other angles, the face might start looking weird. And that is what I'm suspicious of over here, because they don't want to show us the other side of her face. Yeah, kind of sus, really. Moving on to the next one, this is kind of surprise to me. Summertime Rendering was kind of great, at least the first half of the series. I have not finished watching it yet. Some of you guys told me that the second half of the anime went into the bin, like it was really bad. So I can't comment much on that yet since I haven't finished watching it yet. Okay, feel free to spoil me in the comments. Unlike many people out there, I don't care about spoilers, right? I'm used to it. Okay, this is Hizuru Minakata from Union Creative, non-skill, but we can expect the size to be closer to 1/7 at only 18,000 yen. Coming out in October next year. Okay, so with this one, there are some good things and bad things about this figure. The good news is that, well, there are no figures of this character out there. I think this is the only one. And since when do you get a figure of an anime girl character swinging a sledgehammer like Triple H does all the time in WWE? I don't know if you are familiar with wrestling shows or not. I don't watch them, but at least I know about Triple H loving his sledgehammer. Okay, so this is something new, at least for this part. And the bad news being, well, this is really cheap at 18,000 yen. I don't know if the value will bin even further after release because... Is there a season 2 for this anime? I think unlikely, right? Correct me if I am wrong though. Because once again, this is just a seasonal anime. Right? And we'll reach a point where people forget about this anime's existence. It will happen, just a matter of when. But if you love this series enough, like you love the character so much, why would you care about resale value after release? It doesn't matter. You love the character, you pick one up. And for only 18,000 yen, I would say I can recommend you purchasing one. Yeah. Just that it is quite a shame that, yeah, she is wearing black all around. Maybe it doesn't take much for Union Creative to manufacture this figure, which is why she is quite affordable. Moving on to the next one over here. Oh, this is actually one of my favorite scale figures this week. Oh, this is sweet indeed. 1x7 scale Aru-chan Gothic Lolita version illustration by Momoko by Belfine. That is the bad news. Belfine. This is going for 23,300 yen here in HLJ, coming out in September 2024. I have always loved garter belts, Gothic Lolita fashion style, and even, I mean, my tastes are quite varied, right? If you show me something science fiction, I love it. You show me something Gothic Lolita like this, oh, thumbs up from me. So this one, this is super adorable. Just that it is from Belfine. That is my concern over here because they are not the best in QC, right? However, the painting and the shading work over here, this is exquisite. Like, I mean, you look at her sleeves over here, right? All the folds around her clothes and then how they do the shading. Like dirty pink color. No, it is slightly pale pink in color, but there are some grey shadows over there. This kind of paintwork is something I really like, and I hope that is what we get in the final product. Like, they don't show us, this is the prototype, this is the official product photos, and then they cut corners in the final product, where there is barely any shading, which is something Kotobukiya did every once in a while, right? I hope they don't cut corners over here with the paintwork. This is really nice. That dirty shade of pink over there. Is it castable? Yeah, very unlikely, but it doesn't matter. I mean, look at this photo over here. You put her inside a, what do you call this? Vintage setting or Victorian era setting when you do a diorama. She would look amazing in it. Moving on to the next one over here, 1x7 scale Ruby Rose from Ruby Ice Kingdom, Lucid Dream figure by Good Smile, almost 30,000 yen. Ouch. At this point, I'm very convinced that the main differentiator, the main thing that affects the price of a figure is the licensing cost, right? Good Smile can make high quality scale figures that cost less than 20k, but then this one, just because she comes with a really nice base and that snowboard she is on, I'll just call it a snowboard. Yeah, she is almost 30k. Well, we just have to take a look at the patterns across every Ruby figure out there. If every single one of them are expensive, regardless of brand, then we all know licensing cost is behind it, right? I know that this has an anime series which I haven't watched it yet as well. I need to find time to watch it. And as for the entire setup of this figure, this is a nice package for 30,000 yen, make no mistake. But for my own personal preferences, I'm not really sure what to say about snowboarding on a bunch of white color roses. Like, it is a good display piece, but if I were to put this in a diorama set for photography, yeah, I will be struggling to come up with ideas for this one. Though at the moment, I'm not collecting anything from Ruby. Up next, we have a re-release 1x7 scale Elena Summer One Dress version by Furyu. Okay, this one is only 21,000 yen. Re-releases in general, they are great purchases because you might be paying for less for the figure for less today compared to in the past where yen is more expensive. Okay, as for this one, my problem with this Elena figure is very simple. Is that really Elena? Or maybe I'm so used to seeing what she looks like in the anime. You know, we call it the anime version, which may be different from the original artwork, regardless of whether it is a light novel or manga cover. The art style might be different. And I don't think this is what I saw in the anime. She looks really different over here. Yeah. This certainly isn't the Elena I know. It looks a bit different, but it has to be art style at this point, so I won't criticize the face for it. Some of you might prefer this kind of face over the anime style, and to me, I don't have a problem with it. Like, this face is really nice, but it is not something I'm familiar with. That is the thing. However, I'm not sure if I like the color scheme over here, like just blue and white. it is lacking more vibrant colors to create more contrast, you know. Once again, something very subjective and yeah, all down to personal preference. But regardless, 21k is a great price for something with a big head over there and a huge coat. And recently, I've noticed that Furyu is not pricing their figures that high anymore. I don't know if they have had enough of your complaints, but that is always a good thing. The next one is perhaps one of the most overpriced figure of the week. But once again, this is a figure by Alphamax, and just like the previous two characters, I think it was UMP45, right? The previous two characters from this series which went on pre-order, if you can get one from China, from Chinese sellers, it would be a lot cheaper. You are paying like 20,000 yen for this figure instead of 26,000 yen. This is the Japanese market price, right? 1/7 scale UMP40 Moon River version by Alphamax. Okay, 26,500 yen, but then again, yeah, just as I said, the Chinese price of this figure is more to only 900 or 1,000 Chinese yuan. So try to look for a cheaper place to pre-order her. Okay, as for this figure, just like the previous two, I am a big fan of casual outfit, casual style figures like this. They are not anything impressive, right? They are not impressive figures. They are a lot more plain compared to all those epic figures with huge bases, but they have their own charm, they have their own appeal, and I don't hate them at all. Moving on to the next one, Kotobukiya 1/8 Skill Art FXJ Mei Hatsume from BNHA, 17,000 yen. Even though I thought that this for 17,000 yen is worth it, like this is a good package. I mean, look at the base and the small amount of props over there, but some people told me this is still a minor price increase compared to in the past where Art FXJ figures can be had for 15,000 to 16,000 yen. Yeah, small price increase but not a bad one, I think. And this girl just screams steampunk all over. Oh, I love that goggles on her head so much. Steampunk theme, curiously, is not very common in anime figures. I wish that we get to see a bit more. The ones that immediately comes to mind for steampunk theme, well, I remember Hozuki Ferrari very well from Galilei Donna. Oh, this is so old. This anime was from the early 2010s, I think. And yeah, this movie Steam Boy, and then what else do we have? Well, it is quite hard for me to recall at the moment, but I know a few anime with this theme. This figure, I think this is a no-brainer for BNHA fans. This is a good buy, and at least I would love to photograph this figure because of all this potential, this setup over here for diorama photography. The next one here, this is a bit of a surprise to me. I thought that everyone ignores seasonal anime, but Mia Luna Tiamun is getting a scale figure 1/7 by Furyu for just under 20,000 yen. Very nice of them to keep their prices in check after my complaints over and over in the first half of this year, I think. This is not her full name, I think. It is more like Mia Luna Take Tiamun. I've reached only around episode 4 or 5, so I'm a bit behind on this series. Okay, this one for 20k, with that amount of details on her dress, not a bad buy if you love her. However, this is the kind of character where after the anime ends, everyone will forget about her. Well, given that I used to make it a point where figure companies ignore seasonal anime characters too much, and now some companies are giving them a chance, I shouldn't be discouraging you guys from buying it. Right? Yeah, I think it makes more sense. I mean, give them a chance. If you love the character, pick one up. Right? Other people's opinions doesn't matter. Oh, nobody is going to care about her after the anime ends. Yeah, that is true, but if you personally like the character, go for it. Simple as that. Moving on to the next one, we have a good small company, Plantopia Alpha. For 35,000 yen, this is one of the most, I think the most expensive scale figure this week, together with a Kotobukiya figure, which we'll take a look at later. Okay, this one was displayed in Wonder Festival just not too long ago. And seriously, I have no idea what I am looking at. It feels like Sakura tree branches growing on her head. Okay, let me rephrase it. Sakura blossoming on Black Rock Shooter's head, or rather White Rock Shooter, who is holding an axe, right? I am a big fan of female characters with huge weapons. Their chest size doesn't matter, whether it is an airport runway or Mount Fuji, it doesn't matter. The thing is that I love girls with huge weapons, and this really totally looks like something Hugh would do for his artwork. And whether it is or not, let me know down in the comments below. I'm not following this artist that closely, right? White Rock Shooter is... It is kind of unfortunate that we never got a scale figure of her, only a Figma, and it was very limited back then. The color scheme as well reminds me of White Rock Shooter so much. Is this a good buy? Now, this is difficult for me to say. Like, if this is a huge figure, no scale mentions over here. Oh yeah, 28 centimeters tall, which is not very big actually. This is expensive. 28 centimeters, that is all the way to the highest points of her hair. This is not a big figure. So for 35,000 yen, I'm having a bit of reservations on this one. Like, my first question would be, will Good Smile mess up the figure? Right? Good Smile is no stranger to messing up maybe 2 or 3 figures each year, which isn't many, but it still happens. I would wait until after release before I pick one up. I want to see user pictures first for this one. Up next, we have an Idolmaster Shiny Colors figure. Curiously, this is 1x8, not 1x7. I thought Outer did 1x7 scale all the while for iMask figures. Why 1x8? Fuyuko Mayuzumi of the record version for almost 23,000 yen. Come on, give us 1x7 and price this for 28k or 30k. Doesn't matter. It is a bit disappointing, the scale over here. But the pose of this thing, okay, this screams to be photographed in a diorama setting from me as well. I already have so many ideas in mind the moment I saw the figure. Think of it as a fashion photo shoot for a magazine. Yeah, and this scene, this setup over here begins to make more sense. The anime is airing. I'm not watching it yet. I'm not sure if I want to pick it up, and not to mention I have stopped collecting idol figures. But there is something really nice about this figure that makes me want one. It has to be the face expression, I think. To me, the most important thing about a girl isn't the body or the face. I think one of the most important one in terms of physical traits is the smile, right? And the smile over here, I like it so much. 23k is a very reasonable price, just that I am kind of disappointed by the scale over here. Moving on to the next one, one of the most expensive figures this week as well. 1x7 scale Bridget with the return of the killing machine from Guilty Gear Strive by Kotobukiya. Normally 35k, there is a small price cut over here. 33,250 yen, coming out in May next year. That is really fast, only half a year wait for such a complex figure. And I don't think I would have imagined Kotobukiya being the one to make the most expensive scale figure of Bridget. So many brands offered a scale figure of her or him, but the most expensive one isn't Extreme. It is Kotobukiya. Unfortunately, I can't say I am a fan of this version of Bridget. That text effect over there, go! I'm not a fan of that. Yeah. Once again, personal preferences. The flame effect paintwork on that is incredible. I like the paintwork over here. Like, at least Kotobukiya is doing some shading on this figure. They better do at this price point. I'm seeing some shading on her coat, her jacket. The flame is very obvious. And the teddy bear as well. My question for you guys, would you prefer to go for this Kotobukiya figure because it appears to be the most sophisticated version of Bridget figure out there? Or would you go for something a tad bit smaller, you know, something that doesn't take up too much space yet coming from a more reputable brand in terms of QC and paintwork like Questq and Extreme? Yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Because for this one character, you are spoiled for choice, that is for sure. Kotobukiya is promising a lot over here, really. And not to mention, it is very uncommon for them to have a figure that is more than 30,000 yen. Very uncommon. See, they are providing us with so many close-up pictures as if they are trying to convince us it is worth paying this amount of money for our figure by Kotobukiya. The 6 months release time frame is a bit of a concern to me, if I have to be honest. Moving on to the next one, original character 1x7 scale Reina by Golden Head Plus and also Alice Glint, right? HLJ is not mentioning it here, but this is also by Alice Glint. Summer dress figure. You know, if I were to pick up a figure like this, I would definitely bring it outdoors to a beach to photograph it. And yeah, not everyone will be willing to do this. I mean, when you pay a huge amount for a figure, only to bring it out and risk damaging it, not everyone wants to do that, right? For me, I'm willing to risk it in the name of photography and art in general. So this one, 26,000 yen may seem expensive, but I think it is reasonable. That base over there, I love that so much. That is really nice way to do a base for a swimsuit figure or a summer dress figure. And the best part over here is the cast off, where you can remove the entire dress and reveal her bikini underneath. Actually, is this a cast off or actually a swapping out the entire body? I'm not too sure at this point. I would prefer part swapping, because if this is actually a cast off, then there will be huge ugly seam lines along the side of her dress, which I am not seeing any over here. So this could be part swapping. Oh, no. I think I know how they are doing this. The waist joint, right? You remove the waist joint over here, and then, yeah, the dress, you just take it out. I think that is how they are doing it. This is common as well. Yeah, for the lower part of the dress, you remove the waist joint, but the upper part of the dress, how do you remove that? I'm actually curious over here. Could be part swapping for the upper chest, so they only need to make an extra part for the chest region. I think it makes sense over here, and this is the best way to do it. Some figure brands, you know, they have these giant gaps along the side of the figure. That is terrible. That is an old school way of doing cast off for any figure, and it has to go, right? That method doesn't work anymore for modern figures today. And she has a really nice style, nice figure, very nice body over there. Some people prefer thicker girls. I like slender ones like this actually. Moving on, we have 3 1x4 skills on pre-order this week. The first one here, we have 1x4 skill Azur Lane Bremerton Anniversary Dakimakura version. So this must be based on Dakimakura artwork, right? By Alphamax, out of all people. Okay, so I think maybe Alphamax is not doing very well in their figure business. So what do you do when you are not doing well? You jump into Azur Lane. Just like what Daiki did, right? Daiki Kogyo has always been making edgy figures just like Alphamax under their Skytube brand. And maybe their sales are dropping. So what do? Yeah, you suck up to Azur Lane and Manju Corporation. Simple as that. This is really nice, right? And I would bet that Alphamax might do a better work than even Freeing in quality control. So this is a good buy for 35,000 yen. Freeing is asking for 40,000 yen nowadays. Okay, moving on to the next one over here. 1x4 scale Kekematsu Original Bunny Hajime Out Sugi figure by Freeing. Only 28,000 yen, coming out in August next year. Original art, right? It has to be. That's why it is so cheap. The license on original art presumably is quite a bit cheaper. That is why you see all these Chinese brand figures that they do original artwork. And even the Japanese ones like Union Creative, they are a bit cheaper than figures of characters from big name brands like FGO, right? The licensing cost has to be a huge factor over here. This one is half tracksuit, half bunny suit. Nice combination, really. In the end, I would say this is all down to character design. I would have preferred her bunny suit, the suit underneath, to be some other color other than white color. What color is better? Let me know down in the comments below. But I think I'll prefer that over white. Otherwise, nothing too much to say about this figure other than being worth purchasing because she is quite cheap for 1x4 scale. Moving on to the next one. This is kind of a re-release but with the stockings removed. Purple Heart from Hyper Dimension Neptunia. So 25,000 yen only. If you don't mind, no stockings, yes, pick one up. Hyper Dimension Neptunia is incredibly popular in Japan. Alter even re-released their Black Heart and Purple Heart figures. Yeah. Of course, if you were to ask me whether to pick up 1x4, so go for Alter's 1x7 scale re-releases, right? Alta's purple heart especially was almost perfect. Almost. But that one has a huge flaw in the sense that the wings are super fragile. I broke mine actually. It is one of my biggest regrets as a figure collector. I made a mistake and I broke the wing. And that figure is suspended in mid-air by about 3 rods or so. It is not plugged into the base, so it is very easy to knock over that figure and breaking something in the process, right? Or you can go for the one by Good Smile, the one in white wedding dress, where she is holding up a sword like this. That one is also really nice as well. I think it just came out a month or 2 ago. Moving on to the next one. Okay, the next 5 or 6 figures, they are low-cost scale figures, right? The first one here, we have Pop-Up Red Shui Concert version, L size, 7,440 yen. Yes, pick one up. This is a good buy, and I love the colors on this one. Magenta, gold, great combination indeed. Pop-Up Red L size, they are closer to 1/7 scale, and at this price point, yeah, they are good purchases. The next one as well, Shiro Concert version. And once again, they did a great color combination on this one. Shiro is always an attractive figure to have on any display shelf because she is a walking LGBT flag with her hair color. And yeah, the color just stands out so much. Go and get one if you love No Game No Life, which I did. I used to have No Game No Life figures. I sold off all of them to fund my other purchases, sadly. The next one over here, we have Jui from Street Fighter. 5,000 yen, June release. Okay. I am not a big fan of Street Fighter 6 at all. To me, it feels like Capcom massacred every character. The character design, I don't like it. The Street Fighter 6 version. The Street Fighter 4 version of Jui, I loved it so much. And then this one, how do I put it? They made her a bit more buffy. Yeah, which I would say I'm not a fan of it. And this face over here, yeah. I think the Street Fighter 4 Jui face is quite a bit better. Oh, cyberpunk colors, which goes really well with Jui, right? Korean and Taekwondo user in the game. I love using her in the game though. I love her combination, her combo style. Next one, Chun-Li Street Fighter 6 version, same story all over. I'm not a big fan of the Street Fighter 6 version. However, to those of you big fans of Street Fighter, but you know, you want to spend your money on games, on DLCs, on costumes. I never spend big money on costumes. So, I really don't understand people who spend big money on virtual stuff. But what do I know? I prefer to spend it on solid object, material object. Yeah, materialistic guy right here. So, I would rather spend money on a higher end scale figure like the Max Factory Chun-Li figure. I think it was 1/6, right? I would go for that instead of this one. I would save up longer and go for the 1/6 scale by Max. That is amazing. I love that one so much. This one, I just don't like her face and that terrible hairstyle for this Street Fighter 6 version. They made her uglier, seriously. Okay, moving on to the next one. Pop-Up Red Ninomiya Inanis from Hololive production for 5,000 yen. Yeah, pre-order this one. Pre-order it because she is going to become pretty expensive after release. So if you don't want to go through the trouble of hunting for one, yeah, might as well pre-order early. That is against my normal advice of not pre-ordering pop-up rates. I still stand by that comment today, that advice. But for Hololive, that is one of those few exceptions where you might want to pre-order early. That is quite a good amount of details on something that cost 5,000 yen. So we will see what the paintwork is like after release for this one. And the last figure on HLJ for today, Tenitol by Furyu. We have Yotsuba from the Quintessential Quintuplets for almost 5,000 yen as well. Every week I'm saying the same thing. I'm not a fan of this series of Quintessential Quintuplet figures lying in a dessert dish, right? Glass dish. I'm not a fan of it. They are good display pieces for sure, and if I were to purchase something like this, I think I would look for a separate sofa and put her on a sofa instead of on a dish like this one. That is more to my style, diorama style. And then moving on to the next genuine scale figure over here. This one is not yet up on pre-order on HLJ. The same applies to the next few figures. IV illustration by YD 1/7 scale. This is by Astrum Design. 17,400 yen coming out in January year 2025. 1 year wait for something this simple. Okay, Estrom design, I really look up to them. And their figures are amazing. I wish that I could buy a few of the figures for my own personal collection because I really like them and their figure quality is really solid. Right? They are one of the upcoming Chinese figure brands alongside Mietos and Apex and Weebos as well, which I'm paying attention to because their stuff are actually really good. Estrom design, if I'm not mistaken, all these original characters that they do a figure of, it is their own original design, like they have artists, right, designing these characters and then they proceed to make a figure out of. That is really nice. And for this one, yeah, as usual, Estrom Design's trademark is that a lot of the figures, I think every figure they make has a face mask on, and they are able to find ways to make it attractive despite the face mask. The next one over here, this is actually one of the best figures this week, and yeah, not yet on pre-order in HLJ as well. Prinz Eugen Final Lap version by Apex Toys, 23,260 yen. For something like this, go and get one. Go and buy it. I skipped on Baltimore. I think I still have a bit of regret until today because my budget is limited, but this one looks even better than Baltimore despite the relatively monotonous color of black, white, silver, grey. This figure is extra faceplate, which is even better over here. Kotobukiya would sell you this faceplate separately for an additional 3,000 or 5,000 yen by telling you to go and pre-order it in Kotobukiya online store. But Apex Toys gives it to you in the package at 23,000 yen. Think about that for a second. That is the one thing which I really dislike Kotobukiya about. This is a must buy for Azur Lane fans. The next one here, we have two Konosuba figures, and these are the kind of designs, the kind of versions which we never see in the anime. This is light novel art, but I like it so much for standing out in a very unique way. You see, this is Megumin cosplaying Jack Sparrow with bikini on, maybe, and she is having that, is that plushie or float? A beach, right? Should be a float. That shark floats over there. This is so interesting and unique in a way that I am liking this figure a lot, except for that one stupid metal rod behind her. I know, they need to support the figure's weight. The figure's weight distribution is really bad over here, and that coat, that jacket behind her is probably very heavy. Can't be helped, I know, but I still hate it so much. Of course, you see the figure is leaning backwards. And this pose, it doesn't make any sense in real life. You can't stand like this, right? I would tell Konosuba fans to go out and get this one. This is really interesting indeed. I like this one so much. Get that pair, of course. Get the other girl as well. The other girl would be Yun. I couldn't almost tell this is Yun. Couldn't tell. Once again, if you buy Megumin, you need this Yun. They are a pair. I mean, this is not as bad as buying a set of 5 or 9 figures, Love Life 9 figures, or more than that for Azur Lane, FGO and so on. This is only 2 figures as a pair, so you should go for both, right? I've complained so much about RAM figures being out of character. Yes, that is true. These two, I wouldn't say out of character because Yun and Megumin are very cheerful characters, and only that these kind of outfits are not what we see in the anime, but they are unique enough on their own to justify buying. Once again, you see that metal rod over there behind her supporting that float. I'm not sure what to say about that. At least this one is not that obvious, I think. The Megumin's metal rod is way too obvious. Next, okay, this is an Ami exclusive. You can't get it anywhere else, maybe other than Nin game. Okay, Shirogane Noel from Hololive Production. We had a swimsuit version of her by Good Smile, which was really good, and it sold out very quickly, very expensive on Amazon. She's going for 35k, 40k on Amazon. It was insane. But here is your second chance over here. This is her armor outfit, right? I feel like I'm looking at an FGO character in some way. Okay, unfortunately, this is almost 30,000 yen, and Fat Company, if you were to ask 30,000 yen from us, you better get the figure done right, because I am really concerned with all those high detail parts on her armor. I just don't trust Fat Company enough to get it done right. All those gold color outline on her armor, that is what I'm most concerned with. Because Fat Company is known for paint bleeding. Like, the paint is not precise enough and then it bleeds into other parts. Yeah, they are really known for that in the past. Nowadays, not as common, but it still happens. This is 30,000 yen. This is not cheap. They better get their act right with this one over here. But, even if Fat Company royally messes up this figure, it is still going to go up in value after release. I think I'm quite certain about that. Moving on to the next one. Mega House Satoru Gojo 1/8 skill. Okay, this is Ami exclusive. This one is only 16,000 yen, as we can see why you just have to spray the entire figure in black, right? Gloss black. This is a simple figure with few parts, which is why it is cheap, right? If you noticed, Figmas and Nendoroids are getting really expensive nowadays. Like, the rate of their price increase is faster than skill figures. The reason is the number of parts. Because the more parts there are on a figure, the more molds you need to make for them, and that increases the cost. So a skill figure like this, I have no idea, maybe a dozen parts or maybe 15 parts, including the head is one, the hair is one part, the blindfold is one part, and then the faceplate is one part, and so on. The body is probably an entire one single part because there is no details on it. So when you count the number of parts on a skill figure compared to a Figma, where every joint are separate parts, yeah, it really starts to make sense why Figmas are increasing in folds in terms of the pricing compared to skill figures. Skill figure prices, I would say nowadays, they are kind of stabilizing, right? They are maintaining around the same range. The next one, also an Ami exclusive, we have Kakashi Hatake from Naruto Shippuden. 24,200 yen. Now, this one is a lot more expensive. What is the size of this thing? 15 centimeters. That is quite small for 24,000 yen, but Mega House GEM, right? So you see this figure, there are more parts with different colors, and then there is heavy shading and staining on his giant-esque sword, so it is more expensive, right? Yeah. Mega House GEM and the prices, right? They are kind of insane sometimes. Moving on to the next one. Come on, HLJ really missed a huge opportunity over here. This is not an exclusive, and they should have listed this on Friday when she went on pre-order if they wanted to sell more figures. Because this is something I want really badly, right? I like the character design on this a lot. Goddess of Victory DK Guillotine 1/7 skill by Furyu for 26,400 yen. This has the potential to be my first Furyu skill figure. Furyu has been making so many skill figures over the years, I haven't bought even one yet. Yeah, this might be my first one. The question now is, should I pre-order? Yeah, that is a big question I have over here for myself, and I need to decide it before I hit that pre-order button over at HLJ. I prefer to pre-order and purchase my figures from HLJ nowadays because of all the shipping fiasco with Ami lately. I think they're getting better, but still it left a bad taste in my mouth, you know. You know, when you pay a huge amount for shipping, especially EMS, because you want the item fast, you are willing to pay a premium for it, only for them to delay it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or longer than that before shipping the item out. It defeats the purpose of paying more for fast shipping when they're going to make it slow anyway. And it is a big problem for content creators like me, and for pretty much everyone else who create content, where it messes with our schedule of creating content, where we expect the item to arrive by a certain date, but it arrives much later, and then we have a vacuum, huge vacuum, where we need to quickly come up with alternative content to fill in. So I don't really want to buy on Ami whenever I can, unless I don't care when the figure arrives, like a pre-owned item, then I would definitely go for Ami. Yeah. The next 3 figures are the last figures on Ami. GEM series palm size figures from Gundam Witch from Mercury. We have Guel, 6,800 yen almost. Yeah, they are really small as you can see. I really like how they provide this picture over here so that you can estimate the size of the figure, though everyone has different hand sizes. Okay, I am not a big fan of small figures, but yeah, everyone has their own preferences. If you have limited space, then yeah, you will need to keep an eye on the size of the figures you buy. This is Shardik, one of the biggest a-holes in the series. And lastly, we have Alan Kun, where I find it really difficult to read what is going on in his mind, given that there are so many clones of him. Yeah. Okay, so these 3 are not my kind of figures. And before we move on to third-party figures, quick mention on niningame.com, we don't have any edgy figures from Native and their group for this week, but there are a couple of Nikan Shoujo figures, the one on screen. Go and check them out in case you like them. That leg stretching pose is way too overdone, so many brands did it, but at least that one is nude, so you get to see all the important parts in all of its full glory, uncensored, right? Yeah, for your own personal enjoyment. Okay, I wanted to say that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week, but there are 3 genuine figures not yet on pre-order in any of these Japanese websites, but they are already on PO in OzGK, which they sell both genuine and third-party figures, but I normally focus on third-party figures when I go to their website. So now we shall move on to OzGK, which is also an affiliate partner of this channel for third-party figures, but the first 3 figures I'm about to cover, they are genuine figures, right? Not many this week. Okay, the first one here from Animaster, we have Florence Medicinal Chocolate. Medicinal chocolate, I see. Medicinal food, right? This is from Girls France line, and I think I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy one because this is only $60 US. So that is about 8,000 plus yen in Japan, right? I have no idea why this one is not yet on pre-order in Japanese websites, but this is very detailed for something that cost only 8 to 9,000 yen, right? This is excellent. Whew. This photograph over here, this one single shot convinced me to buy one. The question now is, should I pre-order one now or wait until after release before getting one? They won't become very rare after release for sure. You can find one anywhere. But you know, sometimes you feel more reassured when you already have one, already pre-ordered, like you're guaranteed to get it. So I really need to think this over. This is a must-have, I think, for 8 to 9,000 yen price range. Yeah. The next one from Any Game, Chinese figure brand. IGN Takao from Azur Lane. This is in office outfit. $131 US. I think this would be around 18 or 19,000 yen. Less than 20k, right? But I'm not really too much of a big fan of Azur Lane characters in office wear, right? So even if I were a figure collector, I'm very likely to skip something like this unless I am more of a budget-oriented figure collector where I can't afford 40,000 yen, 30,000 yen figures. Then something like this makes sense, right? Otherwise, I would go for something a bit more sophisticated, more detailed than an office outfit. Because this kind of outfit does not really define Takao as a character. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, Magic Arts. Right, Magic Arts. This is 1x4 scale. Original character Mahiro Sasho Bani for only $209 US. So $209 US, I think that is almost 30,000 yen. 1x4 scale. Okay, so the thing with this figure is that, well, it is a bit too generic, too plain for sure. Yeah, just a plain bunny girl in black bunny suit. I mean, look at my Sakurajima. She also wears exactly the same bunny outfit in the same color, and you can get the title AMP Plus figure for only $25 US, $30 US. Why should I pay $300 for this other than getting it in 1x4 scale, right? So this one is a bit too plain, unfortunately, for me to give it a highly recommended tag for this figure. But nonetheless, if you're looking to collect a series of 1x4 scale bunny figures and you don't want to spend too much, like 40,000 yen for freeing stuff, then this is still worthy of a consideration. And these are the 3 genuine figures on OzGK I want to cover. The next figure, we have only 7 third-party resin figures of female characters on pre-order this week. Very few. Okay, from Lulan Studio, we have Honkai Impacted Bronya Zaychik. And this price of $352, it is not yet confirmed, but if this whole thing, including that massive bike, is only $352, I would be pre-ordering this one. Or, like, wow. This is so cheap for a resin figure at this size. 1x6 scale, not 1x8. 1x6, $352. Seriously? This is amazing. I know, it is a huge risk to hit the pre-order button on a brand I am not familiar with. But when I see something like this going for $350 at 1x6 scale, which would be this long, I think, a motorcycle at 1x6 scale would be at least 40 centimeters in length, at least. This is larger than a typical motorcycle. Ooh. Maybe I should put a deposit first. Early bird pre-order, why not, right? I'm just a bit concerned that after I put a deposit and then they reviewed the price is $600, then I would be having a mini heart attack. I want to know the actual price first before I hit the pre-order button. But if it does not exceed $400, yeah, maximum $400, I might pick one up. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, NY Studio, we have Yamato from One Piece. We have One Piece stuff every week anyway. So the price also not yet confirmed. There are 2 different color versions for you to choose from, purple or red color for the effect parts. Okay, yeah. Exactly the same figure, but you see the effect parts, the one on the left is purple, the one on the right is red. Which one will you pick? I'll choose purple color. Yeah. I still prefer purple color between the two. Small difference only. Wow. If you see very carefully on her outfit, on her boobs over in front, you can see texture on it. I like that a lot. $350 is certainly a lot for a 1x6 scale, right? But I think we get to see all the details on the figure. It is really at that level, and they are even showing us a sample of the figure's face over here. And with One Piece stuff, I'm never concerned about the face, right? They never mess up the face because these brands, they are very experienced in making One Piece figures already. There is rarely any bad One Piece figures out there. The next one, another One Piece character, Uta from Brainhole Studio. $111. This one I can't really recommend, right? Yeah. Not very attractive in overall. Yeah, not an attractive figure. Or maybe it is just my personal taste at work again. Not my kind of figure. Oh, I see. They are separate figures. You don't get everything in one package. I thought it was too cheap to have everything in one package. Okay, jacket version is $111. Wings version $105 and childhood version $30. Up next, oh my god, what is this thing? The face looks creepy as heck. Kiryu Hikifune from Bleach by Yuanmeng Studio, $240 for 1x4 scale, I think. Either 1x4 or 1x3. If I'm not mistaken, this brand makes really large figures. They did not mention the scale over here, but they say the height range is between 36 to 50 centimeters. 36 centimeters, 1x4 scale. Okay, let's have a look. Does her face look like that in the anime? I'm not sure. No, not my kind of figure. Is this figure customable? If you were to ask me this question, I don't know how to answer you. There is a 50-50 chance, yes or no. Because nowadays, what these third-party resin figure brands are doing, right, is in order to escape any policing from the authorities in China, the figure, even though it has cast-offable parts, they will remove the pictures showing the figure nude. So everyone would assume that the figure is a safe-for-work figure, but when you do receive the figure in the mail, when you receive it after purchasing, yeah, you get this surprise, oh, she comes with nude parts too. And that is seriously not a bad idea at all. And having no nude pictures over here makes it easier for me to make videos for YouTube as well. I don't have to censor or cut things out. It is such a huge hassle, you know. The next one over here, Feng Hua Studio, Guanmei from Honkai Style. We have at least 6 figures of Guanmei by now. Okay, this one, game version is $300 or $259, which is not bad for a 1/6 scale. There is a Cheongsam version over here for only $159. Yeah. And a Supreme version for $368. Yeah, this is the best value. 2 figures for only $368. And on top of that, you get cast-off options for the body. Is this my favorite Guanmei figure? I don't think so. I've seen slightly better ones, but this one is definitely one of the better values out there. And I need pictures of her face, closer up pictures. This one is okay, but this one I want to see her face closer. I couldn't see it much over here. How? Okay, not bad. High resolution image, right? You just have to love high res image. Yeah, she looks fine. So this might be a good purchase if you love Guanmei and you don't want to pay too much. I would even argue that game server version for $259 is all you need. You don't have to get both really. Okay, moving on to the next one, another One Piece character, Shirahoshi, The Little Mermaid of One Piece by JMO China Studio. Okay, wow, $249 is pretty expensive. What is the size of this thing? Oh, she is 32 centimeters, 1/6 scale, right? Must be the base and that shark over there inflating the price, but do any one of you have an aquarium at home, like you really have pet fishes? Would you buy a figure like this and put it inside aquarium? Inside, soaked in water 24/7? Let me know in the comments below. I don't think any one of you would do that, right? But if you are a really rich figure collector, you collect so many figures, I think getting one just to put it inside an aquarium soaked in water for 24/7 might not be a bad idea. And if the color fades, the paint fades, yeah, you change a new one every 2 or 3 years. Though whether the paint leaching out from the figure will endanger your pet fish is another matter altogether. Yeah, that could be a serious concern indeed. And the last female third-party resin figure for this week. This one I'm trolling you guys. Normally I won't even cover. Yeah, Lin Lin from Brainhole Studio. This huge grandma in One Piece. Huge obese grandma. Alright, this one is $199, which isn't expensive, to be honest. This isn't the first figure of this character out there. There are genuine ones by Mega House and also third-party ones by other brands in the past. But I'm bringing this one up today simply because there are so few third-party resin figures this week, so might as well insert a troll item at the end of the video. And the very fact that figures like this character exist shows that people actually buy them. If there is demand, there is supply, right? And that concludes figures on pre-order this week between 4th to 9th of December 2023. Which one will you pre-order this week? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.